So the question is, what are we trying to build in Africa? Are we trying to build a United States of Africa in Africa, or a Latin America in Africa? If we want to build a Latin America in Africa, then the future is not very bright for our children. So I'm glad I have come here to make this appeal to you. Please, can we join and we build a United States of Africa? In Africa, instead of building a Latin America in Africa, just fragmented market.
Yes, it is not too late for African leaders to convene a meeting to unite this continent. Everyone right now is acknowledging the importance of unity of this continent. The question is, when will Africa unite? President Yoweri Museveni is too old, but he still has conscience and understanding the importance of unity. But you may ask, why Museveni, when he was young, didn't convene a meeting for a united Africa? Maybe at his age, he can do something to bring African leaders together in Kampala and telling them that we need a united Africa. To speak on podium, it is not enough. We need actions. We need to hear one day that African leaders build a meeting to call fellow African leaders and asking them to unite this continent. The way our founding fathers did meet in Addis and speaking about the formation of OAU. Today we call African Union. So, brothers and sisters, let us listen what Museveni has said in this meeting when he met with the president of Egypt, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and this is what Museveni has said.
With capitalism in Europe, when a man called Adam Smith, who wrote a book in 1776 entitled The Source of the Wealth of Nations, which helped Europe to know what to do, because Europe did not know where to go. Like Africa today, you find they are doing things which will not help and leaving the things that can help undone. So Adam Smith helped the Europeans to focus, to understand the importance of the private sector. And the private sector economy in Europe grew rapidly. But by 1929, the whole capitalist system collapsed in the Great Depression. Why? Because they had forgotten one thing. If you produce, who buys? And this is how another economist called Maynard Keynes came along. And he said, you people, you emphasized production, but you forgot consumption. That's how Maynard Keynes said, it is better to make some people dig a hole, plant nothing there, fill it again, pay them for doing nothing, so that they have got money in their pocket to go and buy something from the shops. You can see how Maynard Keynes was able to help. So that's how the European countries started the welfare system, where they pay people who are not employed, they give them money. So that they do what? They go and buy goods in the shop. Now you cannot start a welfare state without a developed economy. So therefore, we, the Egyptians, the Ugandans, the East Africans, the Africans should understand the importance of the market. You can see now how Trump and the other people, the issue of the market is coming up. When I buy something from you, I am helping you. I have been begging the Japanese to assemble vehicles in Uganda. Because we have been, our pockets have been supporting Japan. What many of you call history, I call current affairs, because I was there all the time. By 1963, 62, there were no Japanese vehicles in Uganda. We were buying British vehicles. Morris Minor, Humber, I don't know what, Volkswagen, I don't know what, that's what we were buying. Because Uganda got independence in 1962, but all the time we were buying British vehicles. Bedfords, I don't know what, different types of British vehicles. When we got independence, 1962, 63, I started seeing some German vehicles. Benz, Volkswagen. There was another vehicle called BMWs. They started appearing. First time I saw Japanese vehicle was around 1963 there. Toyota, not very strong. They would break down easily. Then, unfortunately, I went to fight. There was a man called Idi Amin, I went to fight. So I spent there quite 8 years. When I came back in 1980, I found the whole streets was full of Japanese vehicles. The British vehicles had disappeared. The German vehicles also had disappeared. It was now Japanese vehicles. So when I came into the government, I went to Japan. I said, Japan, you are poor business people. How can somebody buy from you so much, like we are buying from you? You don't think about us. You come and assemble the vehicles here, at least. Because when you assemble them here, I get some 15% value. Because when you bring vehicle knocked down and you assemble it here, the value addition is like 15%. It's not too much, but better than nothing. The Japanese were not bothered. Now Uganda, we are making our own vehicles. I don't know whether this business forum can show us. Did the Ugandans bring those vehicles? You didn't bring them. Oh, you should have brought them. I was telling His Excellency, these vehicles fabricated by us are called Chira, electric vehicles. Chira is our name for the Nile. The Nile, we call it Chira. That's why you hear President of South Sudan is called Salva Kiir. His name also means the Nile in our language there. So we are now building making our own vehicles from scratch. The only thing you are remaining with, which I invite the Egyptians, if they can't join us with, is the lithium batteries, to produce the lithium batteries so that the whole vehicle is made locally there. So when we started fabricating our vehicles, the Japanese came running. So they want to assemble. I said, sorry, too late. Sorry, I don't need assembling. You missed your chance. Unless you want to join me in manufacturing, there will be no assembly here. So therefore, the power of the pocket is very crucial. Somebody who buys from you helps you. So therefore, North Africa, fortunately our leaders had started waking up. Because when they got independence, 1960s, 50s, they were just excited with independence. But by 1980, At that time, I was busy fighting. I was not in the system. I was fighting Amin. But the leaders who were in charge of countries started waking up. They held what they called the Lagos Conference. I think it was 1980. And they developed the Lagos Plan of Action, which was to form the market of Africa, but starting with the blocks. Starting with the East Africa, COMESA, then North Africa, you were supposed to have Maghreb Union, then West Africa, ECOWAS, then there was something, Central Africa. COMESA moved, but not as much as it could have moved. You still find people putting blockages, and I'm glad Egypt joined COMESA. Is a member of COMESA. But we have now agreed the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area. So let us first of all work bilaterally, Uganda and Egypt, so that you buy from us, we buy from you, but also work with all the others. Because without production, without a market, the business will collapse. I was mentioning to the ministers who are with us somewhere else that you people, you intellectuals, professors, what have you, why is it that USA is prosperous and Latin America is in misery? Yet in terms of natural resources, Latin America has got more resources than the United States. What makes the difference? Could it be that the fragmented market of Latin America, fragmented market, cannot allow you to succeed business-wise in Latin America? While in the US, if you start a business in New York, you can sell your product all the way to California, free market. If I was in the USA, I would now be a billionaire already, because I produce milk. But when I produce milk, when I try to sell it in Rwanda, sometimes they stop, sometimes they allow. Congo, so I am there selling milk, mainly in Uganda, sometimes a little bit in East Africa, but sometimes they stop. Now recently, Algeria allowed me to sell my milk there. So you can see, I am a wealth creator, but I'm not assisted by the structure of the marketing in our area.
Yes, welcome back, family, friend, fellow Africans. That is the president of Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni, calling for a united Africa. Family, friend, fellow Africans, Museveni has insisted that if we want to do business and we talk about value addition, we need first of all to unite in order for us to create a market. And a market can be created if Africans can unite and work together. Museveni has given an example of United States of America and Latin America, that the countries in Latin America has a lot of resources like Africa, but yet they are not prosper than US. But US has no much resources, but US is developed. Why? Because US has created environment where the market of US is consolidated and united, and that's why it is calling United States of America. So Museveni has given that example for Africans to know that for us to succeed in value addition, we need to unite so that we can create a big market here in the continent of Africa. these small countries that we have, Rwanda, Burundi, Djibouti, cannot, even if they can produce goods, but where they can sell. If you look at the population of Uganda or population of these individual countries, it is too little. It is not enough to make money and to become rich. As you heard Museveni himself, he said if he was in, maybe if he's living in US, maybe right now he's a billionaire. The way we see Bill Gates and other billionaires who are producing products and selling to us and making money. So Museveni is insisting that there's a need for Africa to unite in order for us to achieve what we want to achieve. So almost 8 months ago, I came with the idea of calling these military leaders. I said that we have several military leaders who know how to fight, who know how to protect the nation they have in the field. They know the importance of unity. Why don't these military leaders, starting with President Museveni himself, coming to President Paul Kagame, Ndaishimie, he's a soldier. If you go to Sahel, all of them are soldiers. If you go to Sudan, those who are fighting are soldiers. Why don't these African soldiers who are presidents having a decisive and having a meeting to unite? Because it looks like political leaders and political presidents are not ready for this unity. That's the truth. And that's why you see leaders in Sahel, Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, those leaders withdrawn themselves from ECOWAS because they saw that political leaders in ECOWAS, within ECOWAS, are not ready for a united Africa, are not ready to work for the benefit of their people. And that's why they decided to withdraw and create their own organization and or confederation, the Alliance of Sahel States. So if Museveni, you are a general right now and you are matured, you are elder, you can convene a meeting. Talk to President Kagame, talk to President Traore, Assimi Goita, Abdulrahman Chian, that we are soldiers. We know how to fight. We have been fought for a long time. Let us come together. It's our responsibility, we leaders, to unite this continent. I hope this continent can unite. And if they can go with that agenda to the African Union, these political leaders can agree. They can agree. But if we think there's a time when African leaders will sit down and say we are going to unite, it will not happen. Because Africa is divided ideologically, socially, politically. We are divided in every sector. So to find an opportunity for leaders to come together to discuss about unity, it will be difficult. Some of our leaders are working for Western agencies and they're working for the interest of Western power. Some were instilled in power to make sure that Africa is not going to unite. That's the reality. So we need few leaders who are committed, who are courageous to convene a meeting. Let us start with a few countries. Of course, you may ask why Museveni didn't achieve that in East Africa. Why? Why East Africa is not united to form a confederation? East Africa has an idea of coming with a single currency last year, but what happened? Nothing happened. They have moved on until 2032, and we are not sure that if 2032 that single currency for East Africa will come true. Political leaders are not willing to unite this continent. They are not ready. They want 21 gun salute. They want to be appreciated as presidents. If we can have a single president as a continent, some, they feel that they can lose. They are not ready to lose power, to be ministers. They're not ready. Some are looting from us. Some are stealing from us. They fear that when they We can have a united Africa. They cannot steal from us. They cannot loot resources. They cannot hide money in Europe, in America. That's what they fear. But if they are so committed, they can unite this continent. Because we have been talking these issues for many years. No changes. No implementation. We have good plans. If you listen, Lagos Plan of Action, you will be wondering. Others are implementing. They say our plans. But we Africans, we are not implementing our plans. We have something wrong. We have done something wrong. And we are not doing well. African leaders, as I said, we are not too late to convene a meeting to unite this continent. It is possible. How can you talk about continental free trade area while you are still having visas? You are still having borders. And yet you claim that, these borders are helping us to protect insecurity and to protect people who are bringing insecurity. No! These people who are destabilizing our continent are moving free in these borders, and no one is asking them about visas. They are moving with guns, with bombs, ammunition. They are moving. And they do what they want to do, then they go. And no one is watching them, and no one can catch them. So we need to change the way we think. If we want to move far, we have to come together. We have to unite. And we have already leaders in Sahel. They have already started. Why don't we join there? If we fear maybe these organizations are being sponsored by others, maybe those who are sponsoring can stop giving us money. Why? Why we are not joining Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger? It is impossible, I know. These powerful nations have already installed their military bases. They are monitoring our leaders. They know what they think. They know what they want. And they know how to control them. That is the reality. But if as Africans, our leaders want to make history and to be remembered, one thing they can do is to unite this continent. And it is very simple. We have already started in Sahel. Let us join those countries in Sahel. Let us do what Sahel has done. It is possible. We don't need someone else to come and tell us, you have to unite. What we lack is action. Our leaders, political figures are not ready for unity. And I have been saying this, these many political parties in the continent of Africa are sponsored by the West, have been created by the West to instill and to install leaders who will serve their interest. So one of the biggest interests of Western power is to stop Africa to unite. So when you see political leaders, some of them, not all, don't confuse, some of them, and it's a few of them, are in power to save the interests of the West, are in power to make sure that Africa will not unite, are in power to undermine the process of united Africa, Africa to have a single currency, Africa to have one army, are there to do so. And they have already given homes in different capitals in Western countries. They have already offered many good things. Their children are not here. Their children are there. And they have been promised many things to make sure that they succeed this mission. One of the mission is to stop Africa from uniting. And that's why leaders who tried to bring Africans together, all of them were overthrown and some were assassinated. Starting with Patrice Emery Lumumba, 1964 there. Come to 1970, Kwame Nkrumah, overthrown from power. Come to others, Thomas Sankara, assassinated. Gaddafi, recently tried, assassinated. Traore has tried to bring Africans together. You saw what's happening. More than 30 times coup attempt and assassination attempt. That's what these people are doing. They are not happy with unity. They are not happy with one Africa. But our leaders are acknowledging that it is important for we Africans to unite. How can we add value? Yes, we are going to add value. Who is going to buy from us? Who is going to buy from Nigerians, from South Africans? Is it Chinese? Chinese, they have their own product. They have successive industrialization project in China. They have enough to offer and to produce for their own. So Africans, we cannot compete with China, with Europe, with America in division ways. That's the reality. The only salvation for us is to unite. So let us end here, my dear lovely family. We can speak whole day about unity, but as long as our minds, as long as our visions is not ready for unity, nothing can happen. So family, friend, fellow Africans, if you have something to share, to add on what you heard, please do so through the comment section. And if you are new in this platform, make sure that you subscribe to join this big family of Make Africa Great. This is a platform where we Africans, we come together to share our thoughts, ideas, and best solution for our challenges. We share speeches from our leaders. We share views from our Pan-Africanists. We share answers and solutions from Africans across the continent and those who are in the diaspora. So this is a right place for you fellow Africans to be. So make sure that you subscribe to join this big family. After that, I have no more to say. Let me say one thing. Stay in power. Preach peace, love, and unity. See you next time in other videos. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa. Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make African great. Thank you, freedom. Thank you, Africa.